dear God. Welcome to my live reaction of Liverpool nil, Nottingham Forest 3. Um, so I'm going to be on for all of about 2 minutes, and then there's a local Asda literally around the corner where I intend on buying a £25 bottle of Bacardi, which I intend to have without a mixer this evening, and get thoroughly and completely sozzled, because that is the only way that I can really cope with what we have all just been subjected to over the last 2 hours. So you guys know I've usually got an itinerary for these sort of things. I do in fact have an itinerary and a list of talking points that I'm going to try and cover, and I'm going to try and do it as objectively as I can do. You guys know that I'm very honest, and I also shoot from the hip, and that is what's going to be happening today. I will just say I'm not going to go full tabloid, too risky or risque. But if there are any young people listening with parents, I probably should have put NSFW, because there may be some possible S and F bombs emanating from this particular show, which no one is currently watching, and I don't blame you, to be honest. Like I said, as per usual, this will be available on YouTube podcasts and on YouTube video, should anyone actually really want to relive whatever the hell that was that Liverpool Football Club just served up. Obviously it's not going to be great listening, although some opposition fans might find it highly amusing. If any of you guys want to jump on and take the ever-loving piss out of Liverpool, that's fine, because anyone that clicks on basically will improve my watch number count, so that's absolutely fine, not a problem. But yeah, I'm suspecting I'm not going to get too many views. I've usually got one or two by this point, and I don't think anyone is in the mood of any kind. So I will just talk for myself until someone pops along. By the way, seeing that I've got you here, for those that are listening, in happier news, I will be doing I'll be covering AEW this weekend, because those of you who might not know, he says getting boring to back into professional mode. I'm going to, I am actually a massive wrestling fan and AEW fan. Full Gear's on this evening at the ludicrous time of 1 o'clock in the morning, so I've got another 8 hours to actually stay up before then. But I'm going to be covering it on, so I'll be covering it on with shorts on YouTube. I'll be on Blue Sky, and there's a few AEW fans who follow me on there. Reddit, which I might even do a wrestling page for at some point, because I'm actually on Reddit for the Reds if you want to follow me. I'll be doing that, and like I said, I will be having the aforementioned rum after the events of this afternoon. But yes, let's crack on. I don't really want to have to start with this, and seeing as there's no one on here, because there's usually and guys, if you're not on, I don't blame you at all, to be honest. Honestly, don't worry about it, because everyone's going to be gutted, and that's fine. I suppose the first place to start for the listeners when it comes out as a podcast is that the last match that Arne Slot will manage Liverpool Football Club on. And I cannot believe I am actually even saying that. I cannot believe it's a thing. This wasn't even a thing until the start of October. In the space of, 8 to 9 weeks, we've gone from a 5-point lead at the top of the table, having just signed Florian Wirtz, and literally as we went 5 points clear, I believe, also signed Alexander Isak, having just beaten Everton, possibly, I think. Something like that, anyway. And yeah, life was great. It was really awesome. We'd just won the league title. Obviously, we'd had the devastating news about Diogo Jota, which again is far more important than this nonsense. But Yeah, everything was going sweet up until basically ever since Hugo Ekitike took his bloody shirt off against Southampton. It's been an absolute shambles. Um, I mean, as I said, I don't really know what to say, to be honest. I literally have no thoughts on how this can be solved, to be completely honest. I really, really don't. So I'll throw out the question. If anyone does join me at any stage, you can let me know. You can let me know in the comments. Is that Arne slot done? I don't know. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see a breaking news headline. I mean, I my rough guess is FSG are not going to sack Arne Slot this evening. That would be my rough, educated guess. I could be completely wrong, and something could have happened. In fact, I'm going to put Tinternet on now just to keep an eye on it, because I definitely think this. I don't think it's a huge possibility, but I definitely think this is something that could now happen. So I'm just going to keep in touch with everything that's going on. So I'm just going on the Liverpool Echo. By the way, guys, while I get sorted, I'm on Reddit as well. I've got a Liverpool homepage and it's called what's it called? Liverpool Geek Story. But if you look for Geek Boy Matter, I'm just on there basically. So I've got a whole Liverpool page. I can't imagine I'm going to get too many hits on that today. Fairly obvious reasons, but yeah, because like I said, there's only a couple of people that have dipped in and out so far. I don't even know, quite frankly, why I'm doing this. To be completely honest, I think everyone's just has enough, haven't they? Yeah, right. If I'm not going to be joined by anyone, look, guys, honestly, that's cool, no problem. In fact, I think possibly some of my internet might be out as well. I'm not totally sure, but yeah, probably just no one wants to listen, which is fine. So in that case, I'll just do this like a podcast, and I will just record it, and then people can see it whenever. So is Arne Slot done at Liverpool? My guess, I don't think they'll fire him this evening. I don't think a Champions League loss would be any more damaging than it is at the moment, just in respect of we've basically all, well, I mean, other than a win, we've basically qualified for the next round of the Champions League. We need to win one game out of four. Mind you, in saying that, to be honest, I mean, is that a guarantee at the minute? I mean, we could probably just about scrape through with the 9 points, but you obviously would want the other. You want at least to win, and PSV is obviously going to be probably our best route to doing that. Obviously, we've got Karabag at the end of January, so we have got 2 chances at home. Marseille is difficult, but obviously you would imagine Marseille should be able to get a point. But I mean, again, we've just been absolutely ripped to pieces by Nottingham Forest, who were 5th from bottom. That's gone out the window now. Yeah, no, honestly, I'm just, and it's not great for audio podcast listeners. But I just don't know what to say really. I think Arne is in enormous trouble. He could probably get away with not winning the PSV game, providing it was a draw. I think he is in horrendous trouble. Well, put it this way: if he lost to West Ham, to Sunderland, and to Leeds United, that would be it. Which, ironically enough, I live in Leeds, literally just down the road. So, no doubt I will be getting gleeful text messages from 1 or 2 of my friends who will be looking forward to my manager getting sacked at their football ground. But yeah, I basically, long story short, I think if put it this way, definitely, if he loses the next 4 matches, that's definitely it. Is it done now? I mean, look, there's definitely going to be conversations going on with FSG and with Liverpool this evening, and there's probably been conversations going on for a very long time. I mean, it'd be negligent for Liverpool not to have those conversations, because obviously if the run goes on, it'd be negligent for Liverpool Football Club not to at least look at the next guy in line. As I say, I don't think they'll do it this evening, but I am going to keep an eye out on social media and everything, because whilst I wouldn't be surprised, whilst I would be surprised even, I wouldn't be outrageously surprised. Let's just put it that way. So, is he gone? No. Is he gone if he loses 2 or 3 of the next 4? Yeah, definitely. I would imagine if he loses to Leeds United, having taken only a couple of points out of the next 3, that would definitely be it. Because after that, the run actually gets worse. Because you've got that little. I mean, I thought Forest would maybe be. To be honest, I didn't actually think we'd beat Nottingham Forest today at all. I actually said 3-0 to Forest, actually, funnily enough. But then again, you're talking to someone who takes anxiety medication for depression and things of that nature. So I'm not exactly the most positive guy to speak about Liverpool Football Club with. But I just thought we'd lose, but with Forest being a better team, I wasn't expecting us to lose and not put in a shift. And today's, I'll always back the players. It's very rare I've said Liverpool don't put in a shift, and we've had lads for many years now who've worked their backsides off under Klopp and under Slot, and that's one thing I can never complain about the lads at all, no matter how rubbish they've been. That today was shooting from the hip. That was completely and utterly unacceptable. It was it's potentially. I've supported Liverpool for 36 years. I've seen us 3-0 down to Chesterfield. I've seen us lose to Peterborough, be 2-1 down to Havant and Waterlooville, go out of the FA Cup to Bristol City, to Bolton, to Oldham, lost 7-2 to Aston Villa, possibly 5-6-0 to Manchester City. Look, I have seen us be rubbish. And it's fine, you accept it, and all football fans have to accept it and move on, and that's absolutely fine, not a problem. That potentially this evening, I thought the Brentford match was appalling. I didn't think it would get worse than Brentford. The Brentford match looks like an absolute Liverpool masterclass compared to that shit this evening. And again, I apologise for swearing, and I will not try not to do it too much. That was appalling. If I'm Sean Dyche, it was that bad, put it this way. I'd be having a team meeting if I was Dyche next week with the Forest strikers and midfielders to say, lads, in a game against someone decent, you can't miss them sort of chances. Nottingham Forest could and should have won that match by 7-0. And I hope the Liverpool players know that, and I hope that they can accept not what I'm saying, what everyone is saying. Forest had a goal disallowed that, I mean, I've seen the replays. Look, I'm old school. I didn't particularly see anything wrong with it, to be honest. I'll get on to our disallowed goal in a minute. Not that it would have made much difference. They could have. I mean, they've missed a boatload of chances as well. Let's have it right. I think Sobbo nearly had to score an own goal to clear one from underneath the bar. I think Morgan Gibbs-White had a tap in. I don't know if it was Gibbs-White, but he had a tap in that he blazed over the bar or something. When I say Liverpool could have lost that match by 7 or 8 goals, they could have lost the match by 7 or 8 goals. I mean, I can barely even remember. If anyone wants to jump in and let me know if we had a shot in that game that I have forgotten, I'll be more than happy to hear it. I can't even remember. I think that actually, I think Salah maybe shanked one from a Sobbo pass, maybe. I don't know, but I mean, honest to God, it was diabolical. Potentially, in 36 years of watching Liverpool, which is how long I've watched them, because I'm a very old man, as you can see. In 36 years of watching Liverpool, that could be in the top 10 worst performances that I have seen since the 1990-1991 season. And a lot of Reds who will listen to this as an audio or whatever will remember the 90s, that they weren't exactly wonderful, to say the least, and they'll remember some of the shocking players that we had. And if I'm saying it's worse than one or two of the 1990s performances, then you can basically tell what utter garbage it was. Swig of tea for the working man. Whoops. Let me just rock up my camera then. Yeah, I mean, so in terms of slot, right? I've been thinking about this. So if, let's say, for hypothetically, if something happened, let's say this evening, dramatically, and we got the breaking news on Sky Sports that Arne Slot has left Liverpool, which I'm just going to throw out there, I don't want, but I now accept that it has to be something that's talked about. As much as I love Arne, and he gave me one of the greatest days of my life at a time that I was really struggling with my mental health and stuff. I do appreciate, like, any football club cannot be losing 8 games out of 11, basically whatever level you are. And now it has to come up as a conversation. As much as I don't like it, it has to be talked about. Is Arne Slot the right man to carry on managing Liverpool Football Club? I hope he is, because I really like the guy, and I blame the players more than him. But if he has lost the dressing room and all that rubbish, then does it need to be talked about? Potentially, yes. You would imagine that FSG are talking, well, obviously Richard Hughes, Michael Edwards, Mr. Gordon. You'd imagine one or two of the senior players, agents. I mean, there's all sorts of people involved in these decisions. There will definitely be conversations being had with football players. The other issue is, if this carries on much longer, I mean, Dominic Szoboszlai is a very, very good footballer, and he's one of the best players in the world as far as I'm concerned at the minute. If Dom Szoboszlai gets to the end of the season and we have finished 14th, 15th place, and he gets a little phone call from Paris or Madrid or Germany or wherever, Dominic, do you fancy coming over here to be your wages? I mean, it's definitely a conversation. I mean, this could get. Hopefully, this is our blip. Maybe you never know. This is our blip, and we could win like every single match from now until May. I mean, that is not going to happen because I don't think this is a blip, and I don't think this is easily solvable. And to be honest, I don't see this ending anytime soon, and I don't even know. I don't know what we can actually do to yeah, basically, I haven't got a clue what it is we can actually even do to stop the rot. I really do. I'm open to suggestions, like I put on my shorts. My one thing I'm going to do, as I say, is get hilariously drunk this evening and watch pro wrestling and avoid match of the day. But that is not a practical solution for Liverpool winning football matches. So I don't know. But let's say if Arne was sacked this evening, I would imagine his assistants would go with him. I'm taking an outside bet that Giovanni Van Bronckhorst would take over in the interim. I would take a very educated guess that maybe FSG might say to Van Bronckhorst, look, obviously this is a huge thing that's happened and it's going to help your CV and get you a better job and so on and so forth. Can you take the players for maybe over Christmas, maybe? So maybe Van Bronckhorst comes in. Let's say if he was sacked after Sunderland, for example, Van Bronckhorst comes in, he gets them over the line at Christmas. I mean, as I say, this could get worse because this is our quote unquote easy schedule. After this, we've got a run of Brighton. In fact, no, sorry, take that back. Inter Milan away from home, Brighton at home, and Tottenham away before Christmas Day. And I mean, after that, it's not too bad. We've got Wolves, we've got Leeds, we've got the FA Cup third round. I mean, then we go to Arsenal. I mean, my goodness, can you imagine that defence against Eze and Gyökeres? I mean, honestly, it's scary. It is actually horrendously scary. The possibility of what could happen in that. I mean, you're talking potentially that could be 6, 7, 8-0 if Liverpool go and defend like that against the Arsenal. Obviously, we've got a lot of games before then, but I mean, even if Slot gets a couple of lucky with look, to be honest, PSV 1-0 win, 89th minute, bloke comes off some bloke's arse, and then we get a draw at who have we got next? Let's say if someone said to me now, do you want a point away from home at West Ham? And I can't believe I'm saying this. Yes, I will take a 1-1 draw. something, anything, because people keep saying we need to win. It's like, guys, we've won. We've lost 7 matches out of the last 8 in the league. In fact, I think it's possibly more than that now. Is it 8 out of 9 or something? The point is, like, statistically, if the league had started, 9 games ago, we would. I'm not sure about with the maths, but I'm fairly sure we'd be third from bottom. Yeah, we'd be third from bottom now. There'd be Wolves underneath us. And I don't know who's in the bottom 3 at the minute. Burnley, possibly? I mean, this is how bad. I mean, like I said, across the whole thing, this is completely unacceptable, to be honest. Absolutely diabolically unacceptable. Depression talk. How you doing, mate? You all right? Yeah, so like I said, folks, I'm probably not going to be on too long tonight, to be honest, because it's not great for my mental health. Oh, maybe it is good for my mental health. I don't know, in a very weird, perverse way. But yeah, in terms of like for the audio crowd, when you listen to this on a podcast, in respect of Arne being replaced, I mean, I've tried to make a little list. So you can let me know afterward in a couple of days in the comments or whatever, or on Reddit where some of you guys are, and so on and so forth. Managers to replace Arne Slot. I mean, I've got Andoni Areola would be my personal choice. You've got Oliver Glasner. I mean, I'm not sure about that, to be honest. Unai Emery, does he leave Villa where he's got a lot of control? I honestly don't know. And then I've got Roberto De Zerbi, who I actually wanted De Zerbi to be the next manager a couple of years ago because I really liked De Zerbi's football at Brighton. Other than that, I'm open to suggestions because I haven't got a clue. But my suspicion is they would ask Giovanni Van Bronckhorst to take the team over Christmas, and then if he did okay-ish, they might think, right, let's just get to the end of the season with Van Bronckhorst, and then we look in the summer. Or, you never know, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst randomly takes over and is a very good manager for Liverpool Football Club. That would be my guess. I mean, lower down, obviously we do have another manager called Rob Page, who was actually the Wales manager 2 years ago, because this is the problem Liverpool are in now. We went very Hollywood. We started to appointing international football managers as our under-21 coaches, spending hundreds of millions of pounds on Swedish strikers who couldn't hit a cow's arse with a banjo. And I'm going to get onto that man in a minute. And we've gone from humble working class Liverpool to Hollywood FC, and we've been basically shown up because we are not that. We are, to use a better phrase, we are in fact shit at the minute. You don't hear me swear very much on these because I try not to, because there are kiddies listening, so I do apologise. Some of them that listen to the podcast after it's been recorded, so I apologise. But yeah, it's just diabolical. It really is. So I suppose if I had to choose, I would say Andoni Iraola, but whether we could get him from Bournemouth and like the upheaval that would cause, I mean, potentially if he came, maybe Antoine Semenyo comes as well. I mean, I honestly, I don't know, but put it this way, in the next, I think a decision will now be taken before the big fat lad in the red suit comes down all our chimneys, and it's probably going to be when he's preparing the reindeer 10 days beforehand. I would have thought. I'd be very surprised if it's a decision that hasn't been made in the next 2 weeks. I mean, the trouble is even if you can turn it around now, like obviously he's got the credit in the bank. See, look, at the end of the day, we are talking about a guy who literally won us the league title 6 months ago, being sacked, which is just absurd, really. But obviously, I take the point. You can't be losing those level of matches because any club of any coach of any professional, any sports team, let alone football, any sports team, any organisation who had that sort of record would be under serious pressure. I mean, if you did the rough equivalent in your place of work, whatever it maybe whatever you did, if you had that sort of level of, oh yeah, you're all right. If you had that sort of level of performance and basically absolute garbage, then any organisation in the world of anything any human being is capable of doing would be having those discussions. So obviously the discussions need to be had. I don't know, but yeah, swig of tea again. Right. Not there's too many people listening. Thank you to you guys for listening as well, my good friends. I'm going to get this off my chest, and if this gets clipped, couldn't really care less, quite honest, because I'm going to get if I get a boatload of abuse, then so be it. The Alexander Isak signing is now potentially one of the most appalling signings in the history of the Premier League. Looking back on it, I have no idea what the club were doing, bringing in for start off, bringing in a man of that conceited arrogance, who refused to do a job at the place of work we was paid handsomely for, insulted the club's fans, basically agitated for a move, and now he's here with us on allegedly 350 grand a week for sitting on his arse and not actually being able to hit the ball into that square thing with the net at the back of it. He was dog rubbish. I could say much worse. I mean, my missus on a bottle of vodka neat in a pair of 8-inch heels in the middle of town in Leeds with her mates could have had a better touch than Alexander Isak today. I know I've just said something that's meant to be funny. It's not actually funny. I'm just trying to give an equivalent. I mean, I don't know what on earth he was actually doing. I mean, what did we buy Bambi? Did Bambi get a human Alexander Isak suit so that he could just like fall over and miskick the ball for our entertainment? I mean, what are we doing? I honest to God, I'll have to stop with the Isak thing because, like I said, most of you guys know that I try not to single out individuals in my life. I try to be as respectful as I can and as humble as I can. I don't like singling out people because I don't want to get into it, obviously, but I was abused a lot when I was a kid. Blah 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 because of yes, I'm sure you can imagine. And I don't like being one of those sorts of people. And I try and be as nice and as pleasant to people as I possibly can be. But there are some times I must speak. And I'm sorry, but the Alexander Isak signing has been a complete and utter disaster. We have lost Luis Diaz, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best players in Europe on form at the minute, who is playing for potentially the best club in world football at the minute, for, from what I can see, an utter and complete injury wrecks piece of garbage. I mean, Newcastle must be laughing. Is what I mean. I don't even a Newcastle. Let me have a look while I'm online, just to cap the day off. Are Newcastle losing? It is 0-0 between Man City and Newcastle. Oh, right, there we go. Yeah, so they've got that blonde bloke. I mean, I don't know, whatever his name is, the one that looks like Logan Paul got electrocuted, frizzy hair. I don't know what his name. What Walter? I don't know what the hell his name is. Anyway, look, the point is, they've got this bloke for literally half the price of Isak, and I know he's injured at the minute. They've got Visser from Brentford. And I think if my maths is correct, I think they've got 30 million quid stashed, saved over from that. And we have an inelegant, Bambi-esque, can't hit a cow's arse with a bloody banjo, supposed international striker who basically falls over like the ball is kryptonite being thrown at his feet. I honestly, I don't have the words. I really don't. I find it incredible. I find it absolutely incredible. At least, at least I laugh about it. It's just like, why all these years we've been begging FSG to spend this money, and they actually do on two world class players who are seemingly being. I feel like, do you know the bit in Scooby Doo? This is really weird. You know the bit at the end where they catch the criminal, and it's usually Fred who says, "Let's see who you really are." I'm starting to think someone is actually kidnapped, like Secret Invasion style. Um, I'm seriously thinking that Alexander Isak and Florian Wirtz have been kidnapped and put somewhere in the outer reaches of space, and we've basically got two pissed up chavs who have been put in their place who are now playing for Liverpool Football Club. I mean, I don't know. So I apologise about the rant, but just in general, folks, I think the signing of Isak has been an unnecessary, unmitigated disaster. And I'm sorry, but we signed Hugo Ekitike. We already had Gakpo. We paid all that money for Mo Salah. Rio Ingamoa was there, and Federico Chiesa was there. That bloke, again, shout out to Fedi today. I mean, they bring him on when we're 3-0 down. What is he meant to do after that? I mean, and again, fair play to I do feel sorry for Fedi. I really do. That bloke works his balls off. He really does. He tries his absolute best, even when we've got no chance of winning. He runs around. He doesn't always do what he needs to do, but at least he gives it a bloody good go. And I respect the man so much for that. And Fedi Chiesa is now, I mean, he's blatantly fit. He hasn't been injured for over 6-7 months. He must be looking at this going, well, I mean, Jesus Christ, if he doesn't play me in these conditions, I mean, he must be on borderline being insulted, to be honest. I mean, for me, I'm sorry, but Chiesa has to play the next match. Mo Salah should be taken out of that team. See, I can turn into a bit of a heel sometimes because everyone's saying I'm nice and stuff. There is still that little heelish part of me, but yeah. I will just read the comments, guys, because I've just been ranting. Let me have a look. I'm good. How are you? I hope you're okay. Not really, to be honest. You might have tell I'm a bit. What's the young people say? Slightly triggered at the minute, shall we say? Hey, Goose Feathers. How you doing? You're all right, pal. Here we go. Someone that agrees with me. Snapey Golf, Snape BT. I'm just going to call you Golf. Golf. We're in absolute shambles. The whole philosophy wants changing, and Snot needs a rocket up his jacksie. I couldn't put it any better myself. Well done, that man. Well done, that man. Yeah, no, Golf. I completely agree. I would add the players as well. You are talking all 23 or 24 players being bent over and booted up the arse with a giant shoe at this point. And as I said, I do keep referencing this. I appreciate they've lost one of their best friends, and I'm trying to be understanding of that. And I will always be understanding of that because I miss Diogo as well. And if they are struggling, then look, we are here for you. I said this on the last time Liverpool lost. We are here for you. And we'll do what we can as supporters for you. Genuinely. Look, Diogo Jota's death pisses all over the football match. I mean, if someone offered me, I don't know, Liverpool get relegated to the National League South or North, I'm assuming it'd be National League North, but Diogo Jota and Andre Silva will come back alive. I will happily have the team relegated to have those two lads back. Because football is not as important as those. At the same time, as someone that's dealt with death, you need to move on. I'm not suggesting anyone moves on from Diogo this quickly at all. Not at all. And I wouldn't dare say anything so like appallingly callous as that. But I don't know. It's difficult. But you have to take the performances for what they are. And the performances, again, I'm sorry to swear, have been utterly and completely shit since the start of the season. We've played. The Villa match was all right, decent. The Real Madrid match, and this is what annoys me so much. We basically spanked one of the best teams in the world. I mean, it wasn't even. I mean, how good Forest were today was how good we were against Real Madrid. We should have beat Real Madrid 7-0. Simple as that. They would. I mean, if it hadn't been for Courtois, that could have been embarrassing. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Oh, thank you as well. Yeah, get the word out, guys. Get the word out. You are actually funny. I have my moments. Yeah, I have my moments. I don't know if the missus would agree with you, but well, she thinks I'm funny, but not in the way I would like. But yeah, yeah, folks. Like I say, I'm trying to have like an analytical thing about this, and it's the sometimes like with all my mental health stuff as well that you guys know about. You can't always be analytical. Like life just happens sometimes. Sometimes people play rubbish, and sometimes people lose football matches, and sometimes people that you think are brilliant lose their jobs, and life moves on for whatever reason. So, if that's what happens with Arne, I will genuinely be devastated, and I feel very sorry for the bloke. And by the way, I'm not excusing Arne either. I think he has to take responsibility as well. I mean, the main thing for me is his substitutions. He got them bang on last year. As soon as there was a problem, he literally went over and said, "That guy's playing rubbish. Off you go." Like he did with Kwanzaa straight away, set his stall out, and if something wasn't working, like the Brighton match last year, we were 1-0 down, should have been 3-0 to Brighton. Arne Slot literally gets them in. I think he made two substitutions, says straight away, "You're off, you're off." We're changing the complete system, and basically we battered Brighton in the second half and won the match. And he had the Midas touch last year. He only got it wrong a couple of times. I mean, we didn't lose. I think we lost 6 matches out of what 65 or something like that. I mean, this is the thing as well. He's doubled his amount of losses in the space of what 6 weeks, 2 months. I mean, it's genuinely frightening. I mean, just in terms of the other stuff I've written down, the defending from corners again. I mean, they've conceded another goal from a corner. I, this is why I'm trying to give Slot a pass at the minute. I don't believe for a minute that Arne Slot goes onto the coaching field and says, "Right, lads, today I want you to not mark this big bloke here, and I want you to allow him a free run at goal to head in the ball." Like he isn't doing that because the players would turn around and say, "You are," and then one or two would be having a ring the sporting director up saying, "Can I have a word? I'm not too sure about this bold fellow," but obviously he's telling them not to do it, and they keep conceding these. God, I mean, my God, the third goal. I just watch it. You watch it. I'm not even going to describe it. It was like something out of a Benny Hill movie. The little bike that Benny Hill used to be. It was like, an honest to God, it absolutely just diabolical. God, I really wish that room was upstairs. No, no, not really. No, no, I'm going to keep professional. Going to keep professional. Um, the VAR thing. Hey Finn, you all right, pal? How you doing? How's my son? Let's have a look. Ash. Yeah. Hi, son. Ash free N. What you talking about? I'm talking about my shambolic rubbish football team, Ash. If you can see that. There you go. Oh, glad to hear you're doing all right, Finn. I wish we were talking about wrestling, mate, instead. And the stupid thing is, as well, like I'm actually doing this show instead of the SmackDown live show. I could actually have just reversed this thinking about it and completely ignored this and done WWE SmackDown instead, which probably would have had more viewers as well. So I've literally just clicked onto that. Never mind, it's fine, it's not a problem at all. If anyone wants to talk about SmackDown or WWE, by the way, I'll just change the conversation to something completely different. Oh, Finn, good man. That'll do, that's fine. I watched Raw as well. Raw was awesome. I thought it was an absolutely fantastic show. Best Raw of the year. Oh, you see, I liked the one the previous week. I tell you, the Raw that I really liked was when Rollins got booted out of the Vision. Well, quote unquote booted out of the Vision. I just thought that Raw was absolutely bloody brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, yeah, you see, to be honest, I thought SmackDown. I think SmackDown for the last 7 months has been absolute more or less pile of garbage. Especially last month. I mean, my goodness, there was one that I actually nearly turned off. I mean, if I didn't like do it for YouTubey stuff, I literally would have turned it off. It was unwatchable. I thought last week's wasn't too bad. I didn't mind last night, to be honest. Um, I didn't mind it at all. I thought there was, yeah, I thought there was some good stuff. I like the Rhea Ripley, and Charlotte thing when they had the cinematic thing. My only thing about that is as well because I'm very anal and an old man and picky. My only thing with that was just like so they had Rhea and Charlotte brought out by Lexi and Io Sky to that room, um, where they were discussing this, that, and the other, and it was done in a normal camera shot, so the normal way that they film like American TV shows. But then when they went back to the room later to show what was happening, they turned it into a cinematic thing like you would see on a film. And I'm like, why have you got two different mediums of film for the same thing? That's just really, really weird. So yeah, I was just like, I'm not sure about that. But in general, I thought it was a decent show. I thought would give it a B. I didn't think it was too bad at all, to be completely honest. But no, I agree with you, Finn. To be honest, like Raw is so much better than SmackDown. I mean, obviously, I watch Dynamite as well. I watch TNA whenever I can do. It's very rare I watch NXT sadly because I just haven't got the time. And like I said, I'd like to see more New Japan Pro Wrestling, but Raw is definitely the best wrestling show at the minute, as far as I'm aware. So there we go. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'd rather discuss the mighty Arsenal. We can discuss the mighty Arsenal if you really want to. Do you think you'll win tomorrow? Oh, yes. Yeah, you've got your important match tomorrow, haven't you? Tottenham Hotspur. I'll just warn you, there's a pretty good Ghanaian that plays for them, by the way. Not that Arsenal are any of our business anymore, because to be honest, yeah, we're miles behind you. I mean, am I right in saying if Arsenal win tomorrow, they're 12, 13 points behind us, in front of us. Yeah, I mean, it's none of our business now. I mean, I don't think Champions League qualify. I think that's gone. I don't think we'll qualify for the Champions League. I think this is now in the league. The challenge for Liverpool is to make sure the finish is not embarrassing, i.e., make sure they finish in the top 10. And I know there'll be some Liverpool fans raging, going, "Don't be silly, silly old man." But I'm being deadly serious. I would like sooner rather than later, let me put it this way, for Liverpool to hit 40 to hit 35, 36 points. I mean, I know the even thought of that particular discussion is ridiculous, but I mean, is there a worse team than us in Britain at the minute? I'll throw it out to the floor. Honestly, I don't. I think, to be honest, a straight match between Wolves and Liverpool at the minute, I think Wolves would beat us. Seriously, I don't think. I don't think there's a single team in this league that we can actually beat at the minute. And I'm not doing that for likes or whatever and to get a rise out of people. I cannot actually picture us winning a football match. I mean, I've already given up. I mean, I live in Leeds. Like, Ellen Road is literally just over my shoulder, just over there. I can roughly see it in the distance from the window. I think Leeds will hammer us at Ellen Road. I think it'd be, at the moment, if they played that match, I think Leeds will win 3-0. Simple as that. It's not because I'm from Leeds or my mates are here and I'm trying to get in their good graces. I don't think we've got a chance of beating Leeds. Not if you play like that. So there we go. Let me have a look. Oh, that's a weird message. Hi, Abby. Well, we don't have states in England. Yeah, we don't have states in England. Am I single? No, I have a lovely wife who is downstairs with my 12-year-old son at the minute, but thank you very much for asking. Let's have a look. CBA for SmackDown. Oh, young people. CBA. Can't be asked. I remember that one. My son had to explain it to me, and he looked like, "Dad, seriously." By the way, I'll tell you what, one thing we can talk about. I watched. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Moralia. I'm assuming probably quite a few of you are with like Tinsnet and being young people and stuff. If my son says 6'7" one more time, I actually think I might put him in a giant catapult and then just catapult him over the estate into Manchester. Literally, it means it's literally him and his mates now are coming back, and you can actually hear him in the distance go 6, 7, and you're just like Jesus Christ. which wonderful, wondrous, virtuous human being invented this honorific for the rest of us to suffer in silence? To literally, he's just wandering around the house going 6, 7. So he got me with one the other day. What was it now? That was it. He it was quite intricate actually. It's like, oh, Dad, you can come into the kitchen. Yes, yes, son, I can come into the kitchen. What is it? Right. So, you know that thing on the wall? Like, what thing on the wall? No, not there. There. Trying to throw me off the scent. And I should have known at the time. And he was like, no, that thing over there. What, the clock? I was like, yeah. It's like, what time is it? You know where this is going. I was like, what? That's about 7:15. And what's in the middle of that? What is it, Dad? 6, 7. And then he ran off, and I was just like, oh my good God Almighty. So, yes, should there be any parents listening, I feel your pain. I sadly, I think we're going to be stuck with 6, 7 for at least the next 3 to 4 months, unless we get the Hawk 2 goal back, or Hawk 2, whatever it is that goal did. You know the one I'm on about, the one who bankrupts herself with cryptocurrency. Anyway, I don't know what her name is, but anyway, sorry, I was going on about that before. Spurs, boo. I believe so. Honestly, I'm really shocked with all the performances. Still plenty of time. West Ham. Yeah. No, yeah, no. I know you're laughing yet. No, I am being genuinely serious. I can't. I mean, look. I mean, I suppose in terms of a match, we've got PSV Eindhoven. I'd like to hope maybe a draw. This is, I mean, this is how bad. If someone offered me a draw now, I would take it. If someone offered me a point at West Ham next week just to stabilise us and get us back on track, I would take it. I don't think we'll even get a point at West Ham, to be honest. Really don't. Randomly, I don't know why I could see us beating Sunderland. And not because Sunderland are very, very good, don't get me wrong, but I just think it might be one of those where like Jurgen said, it's the power of Anfield. Maybe look, because we need the fans right now. The players obviously need the fans, and I think basically we're the ones that's going to have to drive the lads over the line here. Maybe the Sunderland, like I said, I think Leeds will beat us. I mean Brighton, Anfield. I mean that could be horrendous, quite frankly. And then I mean, Inter Milan in the San Siro, top of Serie A by what, 6 or 7 points, whatever it is, 6, 7. Yes, there we go. And then I mean, Spurs. I mean, this could get horrendously bad, to be completely honest. I mean, you're at the stage where if someone asked me right now, and I don't think we'll get into the Champions League, quite honestly, if someone said right now, no cups, nothing, coefficient places sorted, will you deal on 5th place in Champions League qualification? I'd put my hand out and say yes, immediately, because I don't think we'll get that, to be honest. I think there's far too many good teams for us. I think Liverpool's job is just to basically now try and beat as many as the bottom 6, 7. Jesus Christ. No wonder it's so popular. But yes, I don't know, between the bottom 6 and 8 teams, and get as many points out of the worst teams in this league as possible. And then I think just go and get some hidings at the good teams. And then next they limp over the line to next summer. And I don't know. So even if Arne survived, which I'd have to say now is looking doubtful, there are going to have to be some very serious discussions about where the football club goes from here, what the strategy was with the transfer. Because the one, sorry, I will back into the comments in a minute, but if you've watched me for a while, you know that I need to get streams of consciousness off my head. What I would like to know, before we knew Wirtz was available, and by the way, I'm not blaming this on Florian Wirtz. Look, the bloke wasn't fit today. At the end of the day, the people pinning this all on him, by the way, is completely outrageous. I don't think Florian Wirtz has played very well for Liverpool at all. I think the last 2 or 3 matches he's played, other than the Man City game, I certainly think he's been. I thought the Villa match, I thought he was very good. I thought he was excellent against Real Madrid. He was not very good against Man City, but the whole team was bad. I certainly wouldn't pin all this on him at all, but I would like to know what the strategy was in respect of Alexander Isak and Florian Wirtz. Were they always part of the strategy, or were Liverpool originally going to sign, let's say, 3 defenders, and then someone's come along and said, right, if you want these 2, you need to go now and get them? And did that change the whole transfer strategy? Because I do wonder, because, I mean, and again, I'd said this with Isak earlier. I mean, Ibu Konate, wow. What analogy could I use for Ibu Konate? I'm trying to think of a suitable one for how utterly wretched and rank his performance was. That's how bad it was. I'm usually quite a sarcastic lad. I can't even think of one, to be completely honest. He looks like, this is a bad analogy, but it's the only thing that comes to my head. Leeds City Centre, there's a street called Briggate, which some of you guys, if you've been to these, know what it is. And basically, when people are getting kicked out of the boozers at like 2 o'clock in the morning, that street can get slightly interesting, shall we say. With people drinking and smooching each other and various other things that I won't describe online. He looked like some fella that had been booted out of Weatherspoons at 1 o'clock in the morning and had basically fallen over with his pants around his ankles, pissing over his own trouser leg, completely hammered. To the point where, as a serious point, Ibu Konate was actually substituted this afternoon on the 55th minute, and he wasn't injured to the best. I'll have to check with that. He may have been injured because I've not seen Arne's press conference just yet. In fact, I'll just have a quick look in case there was an injury, because it could have been an injury. Konate injury update. I'll just put injury update just out of. Nope. Yeah, it's I don't know if it's kicked off, but yeah, I've just had a look. That reaction wasn't brilliant. Yeah, it doesn't look like Big Ebo was hugely impressed with that, to be honest. Let's have a look. Yada yada yada. Uh, Konate looks visible, but yeah. Right. Oh, that's another thing we've got to sort out now. But yeah, we'll put it this way: if Ibu Konate had any complaint about being substituted after today's shambles, I mean, I don't know who he thinks he is. I really don't. But like, I mean, honestly, he was again. Literally, words fail me. I've never seen such an atrocious performance. Literally, he looked like he'd been out with the lads that I knock around with, or the lads I used to knock around with back in the day, after a 4-day bender, and like he was pushed out onto the field and said, "Here, go and pass that to someone." Like, honestly, let's have it right as well. By the way, Virgil van Dijk, I don't know what's happened to him. Like I said, the only mitigation I can give any of those players is Dom Szoboszlai's been brilliant. Alisson, none of the goals for his fault, and he's played well this season when he's been fit. Mamardashvili, he wasn't great against Brentford in the first half, but other than that, he's been reasonably all right for a debut season. None of our defenders have been very good at all. I think Robbo's picked up a little bit. Fair play to him. The midfield, other than Szoboszlai, has been appalling, and yes, that does include Gravenberch. I don't know what the hell's happened to him, to be honest. Just isn't showing up at the minute. And the attackers, I mean, Salah, I mean, I wouldn't see him not rating to give him this afternoon. I wouldn't have the slightest idea. Gakpo started all right. He's not doing too well. Hugo Ekitike obviously has been brilliant. Didn't do too much today, but he needs to start every single game now. Alexander Isak is potentially at the moment, and I will reverse my decision if he does well, and I'll be fully happy to be clipped and stuff. But let me put it this way: at the moment, Alexander Isak is one of the worst players Liverpool have ever signed, based on the form that he has so far. At the moment, and if he ends up being, over a long period of time, one of the worst signings ever to play for Liverpool Football Club for £125 million, I mean, people were pissed off about the loss we took on Darwin Núñez, which only ended up randomly being about 13-14 million quid, which was an absolute miracle. If the Alexander Isak thing is proved to be a similar debacle, then in terms of recouping that money, because I'm already actually thinking about recouping, you could potentially be talking. You could potentially be talking between a 70 and 80 million pound loss on football. That's the situation we're in now. I am the president of the Fede Chiesa Appreciation Society. I think he's been bloody fantastic. And do you know what? I'm so pleased for Fede. Well, I'm not pleased he's not playing, but I respect him so much because he was out of the door. And that bloke, like I said, has worked his balls off all summer. He's got himself back fit. He's been available. He's done the job. He even played in that stupid side against Crystal Palace where he was playing with a load of embryos, basically. And I mean, he scored, what, 3 or 4 goals? Man of the match twice. He's assisted 3, if I've got that right. Something on them lines. I don't really see what... I cannot see what Fede Chiesa at this point, because I heard Redmen talk about it, and obviously I love Redmen, they're absolutely quality. I've listened for the years, awesome, and I'd thoroughly recommend you guys checking them out. Chloe Bloxham, Mage, Pajak, all of them, absolutely quality. Dan Club, Stevie Hall, brilliant. Listen to them every single day practically. Listen to the Anfield Rap as well, but even on both of them shows, a lot of them are just like, oh, the Chiesa thing's not realistic, and oh, it's fans and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, guys, look, I'm not being funny, but this is borderline. This is getting a bit stupid now. And I'd had that conversation with Redman, as much as I love them, but like, literally when people are taking the piss and laughing, saying, "Oh, well, you can't possibly put Fede Chiesa in front of Mo Salah," it's like, well, why? Mo Salah has been shite the entire season. Again, pardon my language. His performances have been wretched. Alexander Isak, like I said, he looks like the most pissed girl at a hen party at the moment, and that would be being extremely rude to ladies who have been pissed at on a hen party. Garbage. The only striker of note, I mean, and obviously it's not anything to do with Rio Ingaboa. He's been, good whenever he's come on. He hasn't had much of a chance. I personally, I'd give him a chance, to be completely honest. I don't think he could do much worse. Hugo Ekitike has been brilliant. So you're talking from all that, you're talking maybe what? Ekitike, Sobbo and Alisson? 3 consistent players out of what, 24, 25? I mean, you look at some of the other squad players. I mean, our midfield's been shocking. I mean, that young Trainioni, who I take the point is only 18. I think he's 18. Maybe he's just turned 19. I don't know what. And Wataru Endo, they must be looking at this at the moment, going, well, I mean, if I can't get a start in front of these at the minute, I don't even know what to say. I mean, again, the experiment with Jones or Sobbo, whoever ended up at right back. Look, I know this isn't going to be too popular. We actually do have a right back. His name's Calvin Ramsey. Just play him at right backs. We've tried this before that season where we basically ended up with Henderson and Fabinho in midfield, which then destroyed our midfield and players were playing out of position. I know the gaffer said, oh yeah, Ryan Gravenberch can play. No, he can't. He can't. You need to just admit what you've done wrong. Part the Antoine Semenyo bit. as much as I'm a Ghanaian, and I cannot believe I'm actually saying this because I so want a Ghanaian to play for Liverpool. If it's only money for defenders, just go to Crystal Palace and just give them 35 million quid for Mark Gay. And yes, I know that's a lot of money with 6 months to go with his contract. Just go and sign him now. Go and get someone like Amric Laporte on a loan deal, whatever it is you can do, and get Canate out the side. Protect Joe Gomez. Try and get him into the side, maybe. Van Dijk, I would politely suggest, needs to be rested in a couple of these games because I just don't think he can cope with that schedule anymore. At the end of the day, the guy's 34 years old. Look, he's one of the greatest ever players that's ever played for Liverpool Football Club and potentially one of our top 5 players. I don't think it's his performance. I think the bloke's knackered. Seriously, I think he's absolutely shattered. I think he's worn out. So yeah, fun afternoon with Liverpool. Anyway, sorry guys, I could be completely ignoring you for like 10 minutes. J. Abraham, well, you collect comics too. Indeed I do, my friend. Indeed I do. Do I have any comics to hand? They are. I literally. In fact, to tell you what, you're probably not still on Abrams, but that those are my comic books up there. Those are all my books. There's basically just there. You won't be able to see it, but down there, there's literally about 200 to 300 hardback comic books. There's about 40 or 50 up there with all my stuff. Up here are all my single issues. I've got, I want to say 3,000 comics, something along them lines. I've got all my toy stuffs up here. I collect movie posters as well. See, this is more interesting actually. That's my Star Wars collection. That's the Mighty Red stuff. God rest his soul. Diogo, that hangs everywhere now, basically. I've got movie posters. Evil Dead. Oh, there's some toys. For Vendetta. Very topical in this day and age. Yeah, there you go. So I'm like a jack of all trades, basically, dude. There we go. Yeah, I'm not even repeating those numbers. Yeah. My son said, oh, what did he say? He said apparently it's something to do with a basketball player. Or something. Something along the lines of there was a basketball player who was described as 6'7", and I don't know if this is right or not, but maybe the person who said it said 6'7", and then it got taken on as like this weird internet thing or something. It's something to do with basketball, but I don't know, and I'd like it to go away, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think so. Let's move that guy. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. No idea that we had such a rude gentleman there as well. Zia Chowdhury, greetings from Pakistan. Greetings to you as well, sir. How are you doing? You all right? Yeah, folks, to be honest, like I said, I'm not going to keep you too much longer because I have a second live stream to prepare for. In which I will be covering wrestling. And believe it or not, I will be back online in, what time are we on now? 20 to 7. Oh, God, 6, 7. Oh, Jesus Christ. Right, I'm just going to do a quick bit of maths while you're on. 5. I will be back on in 10 hours' time with AEW live reaction. So I literally have another day to actually stay up. So yeah, I'll be back on with that. To be honest, when I've slept in it, I might do a bit on Liverpool tomorrow as well. I always find it's better to talk about it the day after because obviously I've just literally seen the result, and like the rest of Liverpool fans, like the rest of you, I am absolutely livid beyond words. Yeah. So yeah, I'll be back on later. If I get too tired, basically, because this is a bit of a stretch, because I've already been up since 7. So yeah, I'll be. You're talking. I'm going to be up for not far off an entire day by the time AEW is finished. So if not, I'll be back on tomorrow afternoon. But if you are AEW fan, if you want to follow me, I'll be on same thing at GeekBoyMeta7381. And I'll be interacting on Blue Sky, on Reddit. It's all Geek Boy Meta, by the way, with that as well. I'm on Instagram as well. I might put some bits and pieces of wrestling on that. What else? Freds. If anyone out there is a Fred person, I'm Geek Boy Meta on that as well. I actually really like Freds randomly. I know it gets a load of stick and abuse, but it's kind of like a more cleaner Twitter where there's way more people who aren't completely not dickheads on there. Um, but the Richard heads, sorry, I should have said, the Richard heads that are on there basically get swarmed by the nice people who basically destroy them. So it's quite satisfying, actually, to be fair. I do put out one or two pointed barbs on Fred to various well-deserving individuals, shall we say. So yeah, I'm on that. If you guys want to follow me on that for the wrestling site or for whatever reason. While I've got you, what else am I doing? In fact, tell you what, folks, I'll just go through because I can't be asked talking about Liverpool anymore because they suck. Yellow 4, Wenger in. Good man, good man. I see what you did there. That'd be a shout, wouldn't it? Arsene Wenger managing Liverpool. Nah, I don't think my brain could even process that. Yeah, just to kind of finish off, folks, actually, because there was one thing I was going to mention. This VAR goal that Forest scored, look, it wouldn't have made the slightest bit of difference, and Forest still would have scored 3 to 4 goals because they were that much better than us. And like I said, my only comment on Nottingham Forest today is I think their striker coaches maybe need to have a word one to their players because they should have scored 8, not 3. They were that much better than us. So, but the goal, I mean, I can't remember who it was it Murillo who had headed it in or something like that? I mean, look, folks, yes, it's a dreadful decision, but I mean, this is the PGMOL. They just make these things up now at this point, so just let them make it up. And yes, we did get this against Manchester City as well, but folks, let's have it right. Even if both those decisions gone our way, we still would have lost both games. I mean, this is the thing. We've lost the last 2 matches. We have put it into context. We've lost the last 2 matches by 6-0, right? We are lucky it wasn't double that amount over both games. And I challenge you, go back and watch the highlights of both games. If you can find 10 minutes of both of them, there are at least 10 chances for Forest today. Manchester City must have had between 14 and 15. You were talking, this could have been, it's already embarrassing as it is. This could have been horrendously embarrassing. The one thing I will say to the players, I know everyone's blaming Slot, and like as I say, I accept now that there is a conversation to be had. Hey, Johnny Lie, you all right? More rum, more rum, more rum. Oh, Johnny, you're very lucky. So that short that I did, you're lucky I haven't already bloody finished it off. I'm actually going to Asda when I finish with you guys to get a second bottle. I'm not even joking neither. It's the only way I can cope at the minute, lad. Yeah, no, I accept the Slot point now. Obviously, look, FSG would be, when you go on a run like this, they would be extremely negligent, if I can even say the word, not to at least. I mean, I'm sure conversations would have taken place and managers would have been sounded out now. And and I'm sure Slot will know this as well. And I'm sure he won't take offence to it. Look, whatever anyone thinks of Slot. All I'll say is, look, he is a decent, kind bloke. Whatever you think of his management, right? And this is where I'll stick up for it. That man, what he did for Liverpool and our supporters this summer, not with the title, but with Diogo Jota and the way he handled himself with just such dignity, leadership, and class. I will also never forget that as well. So if you don't want Arne Slot being the manager, look, everyone's entitled to their opinion, and that's absolutely fine. It's not a problem. But some of I'm not saying you guys on my level because everyone's usually friendly on my channel, but some of the comments that I saw on Redman earlier were borderline disgusting. There were people saying, some of the comments were I don't even think I can repeat one or two of them, to be honest. Some of the comments about Mo Salah, go back to where you came from, borderline comments. And I'm just like, even if you are that ignorant and backward, you do realise this is Mo Salah, the potentially the best footballer that's ever played for Liverpool Football Club, yes? And this is the manager that's won us our first title in front of fans, and given us an absolutely brilliant year and got us to a League Cup final in his first year at the club. That counts for something. If you want to sat now, look, folks, like I said, I'm certainly not going to argue with it. That's absolutely fine. I mean, I can't really argue against it at the moment as much as I'd like to. So that's fine. It's constructive criticism, and I've got no problem with that. So, but there have been people that I've seen today mentioning the man's family. Say basically, I'm trying to think of what I was saying. Basically, suggesting that he needs to be taken outside, shall we say? And I'm sorry, but look, lads, and whoever else, if you want Onslaught gone, that's fine, not a problem. But to insult the man in that manner, I draw the line at that. Like, the threat of violence and some of the things that have been said about Mo Salah this afternoon are absolutely bloody disgraceful. And I'm sorry. Like I said, I know I took the piss out of Alexander Isak earlier, but I'd like to think it was done in quite a humorous way. Look, I am worried for Alexander Isak, genuinely, but I think that he will come good at some point. How long he's going to be good for Liverpool, I don't know, but he will have at least a good season with us. I would be astonished if he didn't. But I just personally think, in my opinion, I don't think he's got many more hiding places. I just don't think he's been very good so far. And I thought his performance tonight was diabolical, to be honest. And I think he needs to pull his finger out of his arse, genuinely. But I'm not going to sit here and insult the man and, say, I'll take the mick with some of our players and be a bit, because I'm very sarcastic by nature, but to suggest one or two of them should be given a bit of a shoeing I'm sorry, that is completely and utterly unacceptable as far as I'm concerned. But there we go, I've got off my chest. The whole point was of that VAR thing, by the way, it wouldn't have made the blindest bit of bloody difference. It wouldn't have made any difference whatsoever, because we were absolute rubbish beyond words. Simple as that. Anyway, Seg Major, how you doing, mate? You're alright. Let's subscribe to your channel. It will be, yes. Right, guys, I think that's probably me done-ish in a minute. Was there anything else I was going to talk about? Yeah, just to finish off with, folks, basically, this is the situation now. PSV next Wednesday, West Ham away, Sunderland at home, Leeds away, Inter Milan away, Brighton at home, Tottenham away. So park the Inter Milan, park Tottenham. That's way too far right now. I think looking at that, I think if he was to lose to PSV and to West Ham, he's gone. I think if he beat PSV and got a draw of West Ham, not great, but I think that buys him the next week. If he was to lose to Sunderland even after a positive result at home, and certainly put it this way, if Arne Slot does not win any of the next 4 games, so this is, with the greatest respect to him as well, this is PSV Eindhoven, West Ham, Sunderland, Leeds. I don't think he's going to the San Siro. That's how serious this is now, because we've now lost. To be honest, I've actually lost count of how many matches we've lost, to be quite honest. I want to say we've lost 8 out of 11 now, something along them lines. It's literally, we've now lost more than we've won this season. I'm fairly sure we have 8 losses from 11. I mean, if that goes, I'm sure. God, my maths is dreadful. If that was to go from that to 12 to 13 losses out of 15 and 16. I mean, he's out to go. I said this a few weeks ago on one of my live streams. I mean, that would be. Well, it's not bad football management. That's just incompetence. I mean, there's no way you can't be manager of Liverpool Football Club and lose that many games. It's simple as that. And I don't often do we're Liverpool Football Club, but I mean, with the talent at his disposal, I mean that. Well, I mean, Arne would be under pressure right now if he was in the top four because people were expecting to smash the league, and he'd probably be under pressure if we were 2 or 3 points behind. So if you wind it back, folks, for saying that we are now completely out of the title race and basically out of the Champions League race as well, if the results go badly in the next couple of weeks, I mean, he probably has to. And that breaks my heart because I love Arne Slot and I think he's been brilliant for this football club. And it's, it's a shame, but I don't know. I honestly, I don't know where we go from here, but yeah. Thanks everyone for listening, guys. The people that have contributed. I know there's probably loads of people that didn't want to go on, but I don't blame you guys at all. I didn't even actually want to do it, and I wish I'd done SmackDown now instead of instead of Liverpool. But there we go. So yeah, I'll just go through my schedule with you for the next week. So I will be. Yeah, so like I said, I'll be on. I don't know if I'll be on live reaction tonight, but I'll be in and around YouTube, like covering AEW Full Gear. So if you're an AEW or wrestling fan, I'll be on with that probably about midnight tonight, till about 4, maybe half 4 in the morning. I might be back on a live stream tomorrow. I'm not totally certain what's going to happen with that. It might be wrestling. It might again be Liverpool. I'm more inclined to have it be wrestling, quite honestly. Monday will definitely be Liverpool because I'll be doing a preview of the PSV match. Oh, lucky old me. Great, yeah. Tuesday's Monday Night Raw. That's always usually about 10:30, so I'll be covering that from the previous night. Obviously Wednesday is the next time I'll be doing live reaction for Liverpool, which again I cannot wait for. That's PSV. That'll be about 10:30. It might be a bit earlier, perhaps 10 o'clock. Toy Shorts Friday is always on the channel, so that's will literally be on Friday, where I've got like loads of toy shorts basically. Is there a vlog? Oh yes, no, I've actually got a blog actually. Oh, just remembered. So people may know about this, but there's this really cool place in England called Red Brick Market, and there's quite a few of them dotted around England. So I think there's one in Scotland, Liverpool, somewhere else, and there's actually one in Sheffield, and I went to Sheffield in the summer to go to a Comic Con and go to Bramall Lane and various other things while I was there. And I went to this Red Brick Market, and to use the young people's parlance, it's sick, bro. Honestly, it was very, very cool. There were loads of like gothy things, loads of like skeleton-y stuff, wristbandy stuff, like baggy trousers with chains on them and all that business. So yeah, what was I saying that for? Yeah, so I've done like a vlog of that. So if you're interested in tuning in for that, I would urge you and encourage you to do that because it's probably one of the best ones I've ever done. Quite proud of it myself. And I think, yeah, it has just given me some good news. Go on, Harvey. There we go. Except that puts us, I think that's going to put us even further down the table now. Let me have a look. I mean, that's not even funny. Newcastle, who were like literally fourth from bottom, are now 3 points off us in 14th place. In fact, while I'm here, just to end, folks, so Leeds United, my home, are in the bottom 3 of the Premier League, and they sit just 7 points behind the reigning champions of England, who are now, if Arsenal win tomorrow, which I'm sure they will. If Arsenal wins, but I don't see Spurs laying a glove on Arsenal, to be honest. We would be, after 12 games, let me have a look, we would be 11 points behind Arsenal. Wow. That's and I can't end it better than that. That really does say it all, to be honest. So, yeah. yeah, like I said, so I've got a vlog from this place called Red Brick Market. Hopefully you guys will like it. If you want to check it out, you can do. That'll be on 8 o'clock on the Friday. Oh, next weekend will be cool actually for the wrestling people amongst you. I will be doing a live reaction to WWE Survivor Series, so there won't be a SmackDown show next week. I'll just do a vlog like I did today, which I think should have uploaded by now, hopefully. Um, yeah, so I'll be on for Survivor Series. I'm actually thinking of maybe going on with 20 minutes to go before the end, and it'll be like the men's War Games Survivor Series cage match. So I might go on like 20 minutes before the end and do a kind of a watch along, but not a horrendous long watch along, and then I'll do a bit of reaction afterwards. So I like your vlog. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, that's very nice of you. That's very, very nice of you. It's always nice to get a bit of encouragement. Do you know the weird thing is, like, because I'm an old man, my son had to explain this to me. Um, I always thought that more people would like the longer videos. And my lads had to explain to me because of basically what's happened with TikTok and everything the last 10 years. Because basically, like 10 years ago, I had no idea about this sort of thing. I mean, I was in the dark ages. I mean, the last time I used something was MySpace. That's how old I am, basically. I once went to MySpace and I couldn't actually operate MySpace. I was just like, someone had to explain to me how you did playlists on YouTube. And I was like, oh wow, so that means you can pick all that music and you can put it into an individual playlist. And I said this at a house party with my ex and a load of mates, and everyone, you know, on those scenes in the movie where everyone stops and looks at the person that's just said a really stupid thing, they all just went, yes. And they all looked at my ex like, where the hell did you get this guy from? She sat there shaking her head, going, oh, I've got no, I don't know, I've got no idea. His shoulders were nice. I'd had too much to drink. I don't know. She didn't say that, so yeah, why on earth was I telling you that for? I've completely lost my train of thought again now. Oh yeah, no. So when I started doing this, I just thought that people would like longer videos, and then I started doing the toy shorts thing on a person's recommendation because, like I said, people knows, but originally this was meant to be like this was meant to be a channel for me to basically sell my eBay stuff, pretty much, and it's morphed into this weird hybrid of different weird things that I like wrestling and Ghana and horror movies and God knows what else. So, but yeah, I did a couple of shorts to show off the stuff that I got in here in order to sell on eBay. And then I thought to myself, well, I'll put on a couple of shorts of the toys that I've got. And then literally, this is how stupid I am. It dawned on me like, hang on, wait a minute. 200 people have just looked at that short. I wonder what would happen if I took one in Forbidden Planet with all the new. Oh. And then literally from now, I was like, okay, so I spent 3 hours tidying up this 26-minute video, which one person has watched. I've just done this 20-second short of a giant Venom figure, which has had 4,000 views. Like, what is going on? But that's just the age we live in now. So yeah, I did. Yeah, it's just I get it now, and that's obviously what I aim for. And that the live streams as well. More people will watch my lives than they do the vlogs, which is fine. It's fair enough. But like, I don't get. I get it, but I just don't get. I don't get it because like I'm old school. Like back in the day when we just had VHSs, and yes, there were these things called VHSs, kid, and we just had what was on TV. We had 4 channels in England, and that was it. And you would sit there and watch the same old crap basically. And I think it's because obviously you've got more choice now, and it's short attention span theatre that people just like that format now. But I get it, but I just still find it a bit weird. But hey ho. Anyway, I don't know what on earth I was just telling you that, guys, for. Let me have a look. Before you go, I like to watch the Newcastle game. What does. Boo! 6, 7. Oh dear. It could have been 6 or 7 to Nottingham Forest today. There you go. See what I did there. Nothing weird about it. Oh, thank you. Hello, Misters. Bonjour de France. I love. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lauren. Bonjour to you as well. Bonjour is the only thing I can say in French, other than Paris Saint-Germain, and that's not actually language. That's just, yeah. There we go. I still have two. Oh, New Kids on the Block and Care Bear. Funnily enough, yeah, my vaunted missus, not that you can see, but her downstairs bedroom, which is I'm sat above basically, she's actually got. I shouldn't be saying this actually. She'll be like, "Don't tell people what I've got in my room." She's actually got a box with Care Bears from like the 1980s. Um, I think she's got, is it Rainbow Bear or something like that? And she's got the blue one. But yeah. Mercy Baku, you is Jobs. You've lost me there, Lauren, to be completely honest, but thank you for watching. Yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much me done because I need to see them. Right, I'll do you a favour. Yeah, I will ask. Right, I'll tell you what, I will actually, and I'll actually do it, and I'll show it to you to say that I'm not. Right, and I'll just make it a giant font so that you can see it. Right. Okay, so this is my thing. There you go. It's on my list to ask her. I will do my best. Oh no! Oh God! Oh yeah. I can pretty much guarantee she will have been her favourite boy band. Gentleman, shall we say, was Mr. Timberlake. Much to my chagrin, which is fair enough because I'm a bloke and like, I mean, well, let's have it right. Justin Timberlake is not the ugliest man in the world, let's say the least. But there we go. Yeah, you is activity. Jordan Knight. Yeah, yeah. I think I've heard that one mentioned as well. Thank you, legend. That is no problem at all. Right, guys. Like I said, really sorry, but I'm going to head off because I haven't actually had any food today yet again, and I've got to go and see what my son and missus have done to my living room. No doubt they've destroyed it while I've been up here for the past hour and a half. But yeah, thanks, yeah, and thank you for checking in with me as well. I really appreciate it. You've been a really good friend on here. Yeah, thank you very, very much. I really, really enjoy speaking to you. So thank you. Yeah, and just thank you to everyone else that's decided to join me on this horrendous, awful day. But yes, hopefully, as D. Ream once said, things can only get better. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you a bit later tonight. Bye bye.